Morning, everyone. Softball Grandpa here. It's what day is today? Wednesday, February 25th. Happy birthday to my brother Tom. Speaking of brother Tom, this is the groom party at my wedding. I'm the guy in the middle, and then Gordon's behind me. Tom's to my left. Mark is to the right. Russ, my younger brother, is to the right, and then Dave is to Tom's left. That's me. That's June 19th, 1981. Anyway, and then this is my younger brother's wedding picture. I think we might have been a little bit more cleaned up. I'm not sure. I just got out of rehab. Look at that. I just got out of rehab back in 1987. You know. But anyway, today's topic is disappointment. How do we deal with it? You know. I was driving back from Arizona just so you know, my mom was a Texan. She was born in Texas. So, I have a little right to wear this, I think. Plus, my future son-in-law bought it for me, so I better wear it. It is comfortable, too. It actually fits my head, But let's talk about a couple of things. I wanted to share my experience, strength, and hope, especially when it come to relationships. My first wife, her name was Kathy with a K, and great spirit. God, she had a great smile, beautiful, and we moved in together, and both of our parents thought we were living in sin, that we should get married. We got married on a Thursday night at Arcadia Presbyterian Church up on First Avenue, and I remember sitting at the bar that afternoon before I got married with my brother Tom, and we were sitting at there's a Mexican restaurant up there on Foothill in Pasadena, and we were sitting in the bar, and the song by Foreigner came on. Feels like the first time. Yeah, it did feel like the first time, and but we were pretty happy. There was a lot of drinking and drugging, and the only fights we ever got in was after we went to weddings. We'd come home and we were already married, and I remember we had a big fight in the apartments on Willard over there, and she wanted to leave, or I wanted to leave because we were arguing, and she blocked the door, and she wouldn't let me leave, and so I slapped her. And then when we did finally move, I moved into a house that had 3 exits, the front door and 2 back doors. That way, if I wanted to leave, I just, I didn't have to hit her, And but she came home from Monday night bowling on Tuesday morning, and talk about disappointed, because I asked her where she was, and she said it was none of my business. And I said, see you later, get out. And the next weekend, I told my buddy, hey, we're going to go fishing. And I put all the stuff that I wanted in the garage, and I had him back his truck up to the garage. And I told her, come get whatever you want, and then the rest was history. We got divorced. It was, I think after we got divorced, that's when I became an alcoholic, because I was I was a pothead too. And I'd go to work, work in construction, and, the first order of business is, go to work and light up a joint, then go to work, I got all my digits, I did cut that one off, shaved it one day, it bled pretty good, but just with a power block plane, no guard, safety first, yeah, I'm lucky to be alive, my sister sent me those pictures yesterday, and I went through them, and it brought a lot of emotion, especially with my mom and dad. But anyway, going back to disappointment, my first wife, she was special, and we probably got married a little bit too young, and there was a lot of partying, and we had a bird named Henry. And you know why we named it Henry? Because it was her maiden name, and therefore I got a dog named Henry somewhere. Here's Hawkeye. Say hi, Hawkeye. Say, today's Hawkeye's birthday. He's 4 years old, and I'm supposed to go buy him a canine burger at In-N-Out or something like that. But you know what? In sickness and in health, and for richer or for poor, there was a song by the Eagles, "Peaceful, Easy Feeling," and it goes how the verse goes. It's how does it go? I know that you're not going to let me down because I'm already standing on the ground. I when I listened to that song for 50 years, it wasn't until 50 years later where I heard the verse, because I'm already standing on the ground. I can't rely on, a wife for my happiness, because I'm already standing on the ground, and I got to look where I'm standing, and I got to make sure I'm standing on solid ground, and that was a disappointment, and I'm not going to blame the divorce on me becoming an alcoholic or addict, but I think that's life, and that's what happens, and that's why I'm sharing this story, because how do we deal with pain? How do we deal with disappointments? I mean, when I was sitting there at my house, I'd come home every night and I'd drink my 6-pack and smoke a joint and go to bed. And my buddy Johnny would come over and he drank all my hard liquor, and he'd say, "Hey, let's go to the bar." I said, "No, go make yourself a drink," because I had all this hard liquor. And it took him about 3 months to drink all my booze up. And finally one day he told me, "Hey, let's go to the bar." It was on a Friday night. I said, "No, go make yourself a drink." And he told me, "It's all gone." And I said, "What do you mean it's all gone?" He said, "I drank it. He drank it all." I said, "Well, let's go to the bar. Let's go not to the bar, but let's go to the liquor store. You can get a bottle, and we'll come back. We'll kick back and watch the game." And he says, "Dude," I said, "why do you want to go? It's a lot cheaper to just go buy a bottle." And he says, "Dude, there's women there." Oh, the light went on. Dude, yeah, it has been a while, and needs some of that Southern comfort, and that's where I met my second wife, was at Les Papillons in Monrovia, and my first impression of my second wife was, what's a girl like that doing in a place like this? And she was absolutely beautiful, and I wined and dined her for a long time before, we're intimate and try to take a little bit of time, and she was beautiful too. I mean, she still is, and I think that's one of the things about our memories. Our memories can't disappoint us, and there were some good memories. Maybe I'm not talking loud enough. I apologize for that. Moving a little bit closer, but. It's just, we have to get over the disappointments. We just can't let them ruin our lives. We have to work through it, and it's like going to physical therapy, no pain, no gain, So with everything, there is a little pain to be had for the stuff that we go through on a daily basis. And if we aren't feeling the pain, maybe we can, that's why I chose alcohol and drugs, become numb to it, because I don't want to, like it, we don't have to like it, but we have to accept it, because if we don't accept it, we're screwed, you can't just fight stuff, we accept the stuff that's going on in front of us, and we walk through it, we trudge the road, we trudging. Sometimes it's really literally trudging, right? You're like foot is like 6 inches into the mud. Sometimes it's like you're walking on an asphalt trip. It's real easy, but we just keep on going. God bless everybody. Keep the faith. Do something for somebody else for fun or for free because you want to. And happy birthday, Tom.